Hey everybody, this is Daryl, aka Thuggy, and we are here with Let's Talk Disc Golf with Todd from last week, the co-host, the man with the plan.
That's right.
Tower Power.
That's me.
I really got nothing else here. Oh look, I got hit mute. And then we got Derrick here, one of maybe my literal oldest friend. Not by years, but by years we've known each other. What's up, Derrick?
What's going on, guys?
We have fun talking. So, as we get started, you guys got anything you want to start off with? Playing much this week or anything?
Playing much this week? I've not been able to play at all this week. Lots going on. Been working a little bit, paying the bills, boring stuff. How about y'all?
Well, we played today. We played this morning, and then I went and played this evening. So twice this week. Hopefully, we'll get in 3 or 4 more games next week.
I am jealous.
Hey, you look like you're not feeling well. Maybe you can call in sick and come and play with us sometime.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah, we can go hit that long course.
Well, y'all can do that. Y'all both played New London, and I walked to the tee box and looked down at the first tee and down the fairway. I'm like, that's good. That's good.
It's like what? Is it like 360, 400 or something?
Yeah, I think 3. Gosh, I don't know. You, Derrick, you sent me
the first one is 395, and it's actually a par 3.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played down there twice. It's a beast, that's for sure.
What was your score?
We won't talk about that. But
I got 20 over first round.
I was 24 over the first time.
Yeah.
And the second time we kind of got fed up and quit counting.
Yeah.
It's a beast. I mean, you got one hole that alone is 1,275 yards. 1,275 feet. And it's a par 68 for the course. So I don't know who's throwing it, but kudos to them.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the hole 7, par 5 that bends to the right. It's got the real pretty green with all the rock quarry there.
Yeah, 708 feet for that one.
Yeah, that one was cool.
Yeah. It's a beautiful place.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful place. It's laid out very well, but it's very tight.
Yeah, Paul Macbeth, he put up a really nice course there. One of these days, I'm just going to go walk it. I've just seen videos with Paul Macbeth and Simon Lizotte and Paul and Nate Sexton.
Yeah.
And then the guys from Foundation Disc Golf.
Mm-hmm.
I want to hang out with those two guys. The more I watch their videos, the more I want to hang out with those guys. Trevor and Hunter, they just seem like they would be really cool to hang out with.
Well, invite them. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, if anybody hasn't, go sub those guys up. Foundation Disc Golf, really, really cool dudes. Here out of Lynchburg.
Really like Trevor's sarcasm, sense of humor. He's pretty funny.
Yeah. I mean, when he throws a disc, I really don't know if it's good or not because he turns really slow. It's like he's disappointed with it, whether it's down the middle of the fairway or if it's in the trees.
Yep.
And I'm like, this guy's awesome.
Yeah. Well, it's all about fun. I mean, I mainly do it for exercise, to be quite honest with you. It gets me out the house. It's good, clean fun.
Yep.
And it doesn't cost anything. Your initial investment is just your disc. Of course, we all want to buy a new disc here and there or whatever. But for the most part, it's just a free activity that's actually healthy for you.
Yeah. I mean, Todd, he doesn't have very many discs.
One or two. Yeah, that's all I needed. I had a lot of self-control after I bought what I needed.
Yeah.
I mean, what I like about playing with Todd is he has an extra bag full just in case I need something.
Yeah.
And by the way, I do want to borrow the Leopard.
No, that's a good disc. Yeah.
Because since we're talking about the disc, what are some of the discs that you guys kind of have as your main discs?
I prefer Latitude 64.
Mm-hmm.
I like their disc. I like their edges and their plastic. I threw the Sapphire for my driver. And then I have, I forget who makes it, but I have a Warlock for a putter. I really like them.
Mm-hmm.
For the most part, that's really the only two discs I throw. I very seldom throw a mid-range or anything else. I'll throw a nuke every now and then if I really need to bend around trees, but for the most part, those are my two go-tos.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Todd, what you got?
I would say I'm more of an Innova Discraft guy. Mixture of those. I love this guy right here, the Raptor. I throw this guy a lot on sidearm, and then I would say my favorite backhand is this Leopard 3 G-Star play. I feel most confident with those. So these are fairway drivers. I throw mostly fairways, I think. Distance stuff, I don't have the arm speed. I have Thrashers, which are understable and kind of more for beginner, if for like trying to get into that 12 speed range. But I still have trouble turning those guys over. And then putters are just roaches. I have a bunch of roaches that I carry with me.
You might want to spray. We got all them roaches.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've seen those and never used one.
Yep. Basically, when I decided on a putter, every putter I tried wasn't going in the basket, so I just found one that felt good in the hand. Then I bought several to practice with. Talking about practice. So,
not the game.
Not the game.
Not the game. Not the game that you live and die for.
I have some more roaches here. So.
Oh Lord.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I got a practice basket.
Hey, let me ask you this. When I was up at New London, and I just walked out, there's two baskets when you first get there. I kind of assume one that there's like a few small trees, and as you're walking out, there's one basket there. Then you walk just on the other side of those trees, there's another basket. And I was kind of wondering if that first basket, is that a practice basket or is that the advanced basket?
I believe that's a practice basket.
Okay. Because I was going to practice there and I was thinking, well, what if this is like the 18th and I don't want to get whacked upside the head with one of the discs?
Yeah, if I remember correctly, the 18th is more towards the fence line than the practice basket is.
Okay.
And I think the practice basket, if I'm not mistaken, is a different color from the rest of them too. Maybe, I don't remember.
Because I didn't remember a different color ring on it, but it didn't have any numbers on it either.
Well,
It's a practice one for sure.
Yeah.
They're going to put in an amateur layout eventually, but it'll probably be like next year. But yeah, every basket there is advanced. So.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
But the tee boxes are beautiful.
Yeah, they did good on that.
They did real good on the tee boxes.
Are those tee boxes like a former part of like a football field?
Yes, Amherst County High School football field.
So it's not from a good school.
It's one
I went to Amherst County too, so
I built that course.
I did see some blood on that first tee box, so there you go.
Me and Tim Martin, if you know Tim. You remember Tim?
I know Tim. Tim, I'm guessing to this very day, knows every player that's on the senior team, that's on the JV team, and knows players coming up from like Pee Wee leagues.
Yes, that's Tim.
We were watching it. I was like, dude, you really know all this stuff, don't you? When I was in high school, I didn't care. And to this day, I still don't. Yeah. All right, let me mention my disc too, I guess. And the first one, Todd, you told me this is going to be kind of my go-to. It is my Stingray. That has really become my go-to. It's a mid-range, but for me, since I don't throw very far, it really doesn't matter. So I really like this disc. And the best thing about it for me is when I let it go, I can bring it back to the right a little bit. Everything else I have just darts to the left. So when I'm shooting a hole that needs a left-hand turn, I got my Valkyrie. So I've got that for that. Then my putter is probably 15 years old. It's the Pro Rhino. This is probably one of the first discs I ever bought. Back in the mid 2000, probably around 2005, 6, 7, something like that. So that's really my main ones. I have a couple others, like the Undertaker at Page Pierce, which I really like Page Pierce, so I bought it really just for that. But it feels good in my hand. It's a little heavy. I do need a lighter disc, but
you threw that one good today.
With the Page?
Yeah, this morning you threw that one good.
I threw it only on a few holes, but yeah. So, I mean, my favorite hole is that little, was it 15? A little downhill just to the right, because I know that's where this is going anyway. But the shot that completely shocked me with mine was on 14. I threaded that needle between the trees, and I was probably about 10 feet from the pin.
Yeah, you did very good with that one.
I was because I let it go. I was like, I was going to hit the tree. Oh, maybe past the tree. I was going to hit the next tree. Oh, maybe past the tree.
You didn't birdie it? You missed the putt?
I totally missed the putt.
Oh,
yeah.
That was like the one hole that I didn't have a good putt on. But I did get one other birdie today, so it was okay. It was all right. Let's see what else we got on here. The Dynamic Disc Open, the DDO. Derrick, you didn't watch that, did you?
No, I haven't gotten to watch any of them. I was working this past week, so I didn't watch anything at all. I saw just an IG post of where Macbeth was, the champion of it again, but other than that, I haven't seen it.
I mean, that final round for the men and the women, I thought it was amazing. Just one heck of a turn. If you look at the final score on both of them, it was closer than both scores appeared.
Right.
So, Todd, which one do you want to go with first?
What do you mean? MPO
We'll talk about.
To talk about what, MPO or FPO?
Yeah, which one?
MPO.
Yeah, always let the ladies first, man. What kind of a gentleman are you?
What? I think the best for last, man.
Oh, not one, but touche. All right, the men. The real battle for that was Calvin Heinberg. I can never pronounce the man's name. And Paul Macbeth. Weren't they? I think they were tied going into the last round. After a couple of holes, I think. Did Paul have the lead after a couple holes? Then Calvin come back and took the lead, or vice versa. And then after 9, Calvin was up by 1 or 2, and then Calvin fell apart.
Yeah. So it was the windiest day was round 4.
And,
I think the day before was rainy. So that was bad too. But normally Emporia, Kansas is known for heavy winds, and they really didn't have to deal with it that much until round 4. And it basically came into play with Calvin back 9, where he fell apart. I think he scored 4 over par on the back 9.
Yep.
And it drops him from first to like 4th place. So
he was out of bounds, I think 6 straight holes or something like that.
A bunch of times. So
I felt so bad for him.
Yeah, it was really, sometimes you'll read the wind right at the tee box, throw it, and it'll change direction. So some of it may not have been his fault, but maybe, I don't know. He could have got mentally let it get to him too. I don't know, but he's not a very emotional, like outwardly.
He's really not.
You can't really tell.
He is not at all.
Or he's just like he's makes a 75-footer.
He's just kind of runs up there, grabs the disc, runs on back. One thing I found out about him is he's a chemical engineer.
Yep.
I was like, wow.
Yep. So he talked about that on Nick and Matt show. Basically, when he finished his degree, he had an opportunity to, of course, go into that career. But before he tried disc golf out and got really good. started winning, started succeeding there, and he has a backup plan now because whenever disc golf ends for him, he's going to have that fall back on. But he's doing really well with disc golf, so he's one of the best in the world. So
yeah, I mean, it seems like every tournament I see, and me and you talked about this, is that it seems like he finishes second in just about every tournament.
Yeah,
and going into the final like 4 holes, I was like, he's going to finish second again.
Yeah, and he probably should have with all those windy conditions and stuff. He was pretty much second place until hole 16 when he went out of bounds.
Yep.
On the island hole. And then
yep. Well, everybody went out of bounds right there.
Lead card, yeah, everybody was out. Yeah.
And Paul, he had, I think, a 2-shot lead at that point. And I think was it Ricky Wasaki? He was 2 shots back. Paul went out of bounds. He had the first tee shot, and I was like, he blew it. He blew it.
Yeah,
and all 4 of them in the pond.
Yeah. Well, Calvin, I think, was the 1-2 back.
Yeah, Ricky, yeah, you're right. Calvin was 2 back. Yep.
Ricky was out of it for the win, but with Calvin's meltdown in the last 3 holes, Ricky ended up second, tied for second, I think.
Yep. Him and was it Eagle that finished tied for second?
Yeah.
Eagle McMahon. But
no.
But a highlight for me
doesn't matter. Go ahead.
Was gosh, now I'm thinking about who was tied for second. I'm pretty sure that's who it was. But anyway. But a highlight for me is when Ricky Wasaki, he made that shot from the drop zone, put it in, ran around, gave everyone high fives, going to pick his disc up out of the pin, out of the basket. And I was like, man, he lost his sister passed away earlier this week. And I'm not gonna lie, I got emotional when he drained that shot. I was like, wow, that's so awesome.
Yeah, that was big for him since he wasn't able to get the win. That moment right there, he just kind of lifted everybody's spirits. Plus, it was just really encouraging to see the crowd. We finally have fans back at the thing, and COVID's kind of getting less and less, and the regulations are getting less and less. And it was awesome seeing the crowd there and hearing the cheers and stuff. It was a good moment. Yep.
Mm-hmm. And then as it went down the final stretch, Paul kind of pulled away and got the win. I mean, he played out of his mind the last 9. It's like, wow, that was incredible.
Had the hot round 9 under.
Yeah.
So, and all those wins.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
So Derrick, you don't watch much of the coverage?
Yeah, I watch as much as I can. I mean,
on post coverage.
Yeah. I'm a YouTube person. I just go back and check them out when I got time, more or less, or whatnot. But, I mean, I work 12-hour shifts. So I don't have a lot of free time to do that.
Yeah, that's the advantage of that post coverage round. So.
Yeah. I'll have to go back and check it out and see. Mm-hmm. I'm sure I can find it. I'm sure it's on there. I'll be able to watch it.
Yeah, Joe Mez. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Joe Mez is what I usually watch, but the last few weeks I finally found out that they show the entire last round live on YouTube.
Really?
The last 2 weeks. So I mean, I got to watch the whole rounds for the lead groups, and I thought, man, I was like, this is great.
Is there any way to watch them live when they do it? Do they do any live broadcasting, or is it all recorded? Or
Yep, Disc Golf Network. It's like $9 a month.
Oh, okay. Okay, we'll have to check it out.
And then
I love watching it. I mean, it kind of hypes you up, and it almost makes you fantasize that, hey, I can do the same thing. But
yeah, I mean, that's literally.
Of course, you get out there and it doesn't work.
It's literally a fantasy world for me to even consider being able to do such a thing.
But it was like, you and I were talking this morning while playing. I mean, their focus is just unbelievable. It's like they enter a whole new realm once they hit that first tee box. It just amazes me.
Mm-hmm. It's. I mean, they get locked in. They're so good. The women, we'll just kind of run through them real quick. Haley King getting the win. Her last 9 holes where she was just on fire. If you watched it, one of the things I think it's before the 17th. I think before she was about to take her tee shot on 17, she was so laid back and relaxed. She brought a hacky sack out there and started doing some hacky sack before the tee shot. And I'm like,
right?
I was like, are you serious? It's like, wow.
I would be a nervous wreck, but yeah, she's pretty much prides herself on not having that mental struggle. She just plays her game. So yeah, she's really good. Only like 20 years old. She's going to be incredible players. Hopefully, no injuries get to her, but yeah, she'll be incredible.
I mean, I really thought it was really between her and Katrina Allen. And they were really close going up to about 9, and after that, it was over. Haley did not miss a shot. I mean, it's like I felt like she could just go out there and drop it where she wanted. It was impressive. Katrina, she had a huge lead over third place, so she was really going for it and but missing some shots. But all in all, great round for the ladies. Haley won 2 big tournaments in a row, if I'm not mistaken, and she might be the future. Paige wasn't there, but Haley might be the future.
Maybe. She's extremely talented already, and only has 10 more years to pretty much be in her prime, maybe more. But another really cool story was that Macy Walker. She came in, she tied for 3rd.
Yep.
She watched out for her next year. She said that she can't tour like full time this year. She's got another job and everything. But she's from Tennessee and just kind of picked up disc golf by playing with her boyfriend. Or at the time, I think they're married now. But she said basically it was either walk around with her boyfriend and just watch him play, or just actually get a disc and start playing herself. And she ended up loving it. That's one cool thing about the sport is like anybody, you never know. You never know if you'll end up, loving it or whatever. Yep. You can get into it and maybe even be on the pro tour one day.
And that's one thing we talked about a little bit last week is I really hope we start getting more women in the tournaments. I think this tournament had like 30 some ladies at the start, maybe a little bit more than that. Mm-hmm. But the men had over 130 something. Mm-hmm. So I'm really hoping we see the day when you have women entering the tournament where you have 75 plus every single week. I love seeing them play. The power that some of them have, it's incredible, the talent. So I'm really hoping we see a lot more of the women out there.
Yeah, there's a thing going on now, it's like a global women's league.
Yeah.
Elaine King, I think, is heading it up. She's one of the greats. But yeah, they basically kind of sync up women across the whole country and the world, really, with tournaments, and they compete against each other in this global tournament. Some of the tournaments have the logo next to them. If you look on PGA events and stuff, but that's one way that they're doing to grow women's disc golf, and there's tons of other stuff happening. So yeah, they're growing, they're doing good. So we just got to keep it up.
And one of the things, I'm sorry, go ahead, Derrick.
Y'all would be probably more familiar with this than I would, but what is there local that the girls locally can get into to help boost themselves, kind of get themselves, I guess, in the eye of other people, or what do they need to do? I don't know how tournaments work, to be quite honest with you. Is it ranking? I mean, you play at this level to go to this level and so on, or how does all that work?
Just around here?
Yeah, I mean, how could somebody local, like say maybe my neighbor's kid who wants to get into it, how would they go about that?
So anybody can go to a weekly. There's weeklies that they have, like for Bedford County Disc Golf or even Peaks and Creek. Some of them are kind of sanctioned, so you might want to watch to make sure it's nothing that's any kind of sanctioned events. But Peaks and Creek, for example, this year when they did their tags, the tags that you buy to get into the club, they offered, I think, a discount if you recommended and brought a female player to come join the league. So it was like you can buy your tag and get the next one like half off if it was like a female player. So they're trying to boost female involvement there. And yeah, we had 2 women come out and play last week when I went up to the Liberty High School. One of them was Nick Carl from Nick and Matt Show. It was his girlfriend. She came out and played with us this past Saturday, so that was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they're trying to Peaks and Creek. I know that in Bedford County disc golf too. They pretty much let anybody play. They're smaller than Peaks and Creek, so. But other than that, I would just say, you know, try to get a pickup game with some people you know that might, you know, want to get outdoors, like you said, get some exercise, get air, and you never know. One of the female friends or family members in your life might end up picking it up and making a hobby out of it, you know?
Yeah.
So. Nice. One of the stories that came out of this week, personally, I think it was blown completely out of proportion, was Paul Macbeth at the end. He said, I didn't come out here to make friends. I come out here to win. And he's like, you know, this all last year and this year, we've had so many of our guys, you know, the guys doing YouTube channels, collaborating. And he was like, it kind of took a little bit of that focus away from me. And it's like, you know what? I come out here to win. I want to win. And a lot of people took that as he doesn't want these people to be friends. These are just people. And I was like, no. So what do you guys kind of take away from that, when him saying that?
Well, I mean, I can't imagine the pressure that he's under, or any of them, to be quite honest with you.
Yep.
I mean, it's just, I can't imagine any sports player professionally that would go out there. I mean, there's got to be some form of camaraderie in everything you do, you know, and you don't want to go make enemies, of course. But I mean, in theory, he's correct. I mean, he's there to win. They're all there to win. You know, it's that focus that he has that drives him to that way. I don't think he's arrogant to the point where you can't approach him.
Yeah.
But, you know, in the middle of the game, he probably don't want to sit down and talk about dinner either. So, I mean, let's just put it where it belongs. I mean, he's focused. You know, that's his main driving goal. I mean, I guess I'm assuming that's what he gets paid for. I mean, I'm sure the sponsor would rather write him a check for winning a championship than he would for how many friends he had over for dinner last night. I mean, let's just put it where it belongs. I mean, he's got to make a living.
Yep.
The thing about disc golf, it's growing and people don't like change.
Right.
So most people consider disc golf like this family thing, or this hook up with some buddies and just have some fun. And it's turning into this actual professional career for people like Paul, who just signed a $10 million contract. And yeah, the transition that we're trying to get to from like this like small just little hobby into a professional sport that's professional, dress code, and you know, going into not making friends, but going in with a competitive mindset. If you get away from that competitive mindset like Paul was talking about, all of a sudden you stop being aggressive, you stop making the moves you need to make to win. And
right.
He's building a legacy, and he's already built an incredible one that's probably not going to be beat. But he's still got a whole lot left in the tank, and he's definitely right to bring that up and really get people's mindsets on the right path to bringing disc golf into that more respected and like professional sport and career.
Right.
It's going to help for sure.
Yeah, he kind of reminds me of a young Tiger Woods. If you ever followed him when he was playing golf, you know,
that's exactly my first thought.
When Tiger was in the clubhouse and when he was, you know, walking through the crowd before anything started or even afterwards, he was very friendly. You know, he would sign autographs, he would talk to the press, pictures, the whole 9 yards. But once he hit that first tee box, it's game on. You know, and that's kind of the way I see Paul. I think his comments probably misconstrued it. Let's put it that way.
I mean, when I first heard him say that, it took me back to like 19 97 or so.
Yeah.
When Tiger first come out and he was talking to Curtis Strange.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I came out here to win. Second sucks.
Yeah.
And Curtis Strange, he was like, this kid, he'll learn. A few years later, Curtis Strange, he goes, I remember when he said that, and boy, was I wrong. He came out here and just took it by storm.
Right.
And I think Paul, he's got that in his DNA to not want to be second. And his putting has been off, and he has not been like you've been saying, like focused. And I think maybe he's turned that switch on where it's like, look, I'm the best out here, and I'm going to prove it. And props. I give him respect for doing that and saying that.
Oh,
and to be
absolutely.
honest, I hope a lot of the other players, have that same mindset. I would assume that they have that same mindset. They want to be the best. They don't want to finish it.
And I mean, even if it was just the three of us, let's say we went to play, tomorrow or whatever. I mean, I wouldn't expect anything less out of the two of y'all.
Finish third, no doubt about it.
We'd have a good time and we'd laugh and joke and whatever. But I mean, it's about winning.
That's true. I'm in it to win it.
I came to win the game.
I mean, that don't mean we can't be sarcastic with each other. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, you're there to win. I mean, you're there to better yourself than something else. It's like you and I were talking this morning playing. I mean, I go out there to play myself. That's what I do. Yeah, I play myself. I need to beat my yesterday.
Yep.
That's the way I look at it.
That's exactly how I look at it too. I mean, my thought was if I play my best game, you guys are probably going to beat me. But if I'm better tomorrow than I was today, that's what I want.
It's a win.
Yeah.
You're exactly right.
I mean, if I have to Tanya Harding you in the knee, so be it. Well, I just realized that's like a 30-year-old reference now.
Yeah, quite a bit.
Wow.
I'm 31.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Woo. Okay.
Let's see. One of the things that this question I have. Out of bounds. What part of the disc has to be out of bounds to be considered out of bounds?
The whole disc.
The entire disc.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like tennis where any part of the ball touching the line, it's considered in.
Yeah.
Okay, because yesterday when I played, I threw one on 17 and it just went straight off to the right, and it was completely out of bounds by, I mean, literally like a quarter inch. But I knew so that was out of bounds, but it made me think. Like in football, if anything touches the line, it's out of bounds. In tennis, if any part of the ball touches the line, it's inbounds.
Mm-hmm.
So it made me think, where does disc golf go for that?
Yeah, they have to be really specific on defining the line, and especially in the Pro Tour. You don't want to have any kind of, what's the word, gray area or like ambiguity or whatever.
Discrepancy.
The tournament director has to make sure he defines every line and have rope or chalk or a fence or something. And then the card, the way it works is the four players on the card have to agree, like majority agree on whether it's out or in. And if the player that threw it says it's in, but two of the players on the card says it's out, then it's out. So that's basically how it's done. And but if it's like a tie where it's like one person didn't see it, or without a bounds would be different. But let's just say it's 2-2. They say it's in bounds. The benefit goes to the player, to the person that threw it. So then it would be in bounds. So yeah, but any little square centimeter, whatever, that's in bounds is the disc is in.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So now I know. Huh. That shot was still out of bounds.
But see, at New London, they have these ropes that go along the side, which is nice, but they haven't finished it. Kenny Palmer, the guy working on it, he's got more lines to finish, and they'll have it all ready by the tournament coming up in September. So.
Oh, they will have one in New London in September?
We got to go, man. Battle for Bedford.
That's
really?
Paul Macbeth. So
I thought it was going to like the Battle of Bedford was actually going to be at Falling Creek. I didn't know it was going to be in
there's
New London.
3 different courses. The MPO is playing. Only MPO is playing New London. I think FPO and then the advanced men is playing Independence Park, I think, and then the categories less than that would be Fallen Creek. And I think Manita's in play too. I think 4 courses. Yeah.
Wow. I still haven't played the Manita, so hopefully I can get up there sometime with you.
Yeah, have y'all played Manita yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, I played it twice. It's not great. It's not terrible, but it's probably not my favorite place to play.
It's probably my favorite place to play.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, that or Fallen Creek, but yeah, I just love the beauty of it.
Mm-hmm.
I like just some of the lines, and I think it challenges you. It challenges me just enough to try to get better because I'm terrible there. I'm probably like 10 or 11 over, or when I play the long tees. So I was 6 over on the shorts. They just put the short baskets in actually.
Okay.
That for the first time a couple weeks ago. But yeah, it's it's been one of my favorite. I enjoy going every time, but yeah, not the best that they have. I think the best we have is probably at Independence Park or Fallen Creek. Roanoke's got a couple good ones.
Independence, is that the one behind Walmart?
Yeah.
Yeah, where you throw over the water first hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
In the water on the first hole.
Say it again. I didn't hear you.
Who, me or Derrick?
Derrick.
I was just saying I really enjoyed that course. I played that one quite a few times too.
Yeah, it's hard, but yeah, it's cool.
Yeah,
probably the best one we got.
I would say so. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was watching the guys from Foundation playing the other day. I was like, I mean, again, from the cameras you can't tell, but it looked really tight, like a very tight course in the trees. But again, I want this understood. That was on their camera, so you can't really tell for sure unless you're actually there.
It's fairly tight.
Yeah.
By the way, I just looked at the scores from today. The challenge at Goat Hill for the men, Ricky Wasaki, Eric Oakley, and Brody Smith.
Yeah.
Tied at 13 under.
Yeah.
Good.
There you go, Brode. The women, Own Scroggins. Scoggins?
Yeah.
Not Scroggins, it's Scoggins. There's no R in there.
That's the best money coming out of it.
Nicole Bradley is 1 under. Hoyland? I don't know her. Handley? I don't know her. She's 1 under. And Lisa Fajakis, which I'm probably mispronouncing her name as well, she's at even.
Yeah,
so there we go.
Lisa Fakis.
What, the J's not pronounced?
It's silent. Yeah.
How dare her? Take it out then. Okay, and probably the last thing we're going to talk about for the next little bit is do you guys think the pros, the scores when they're shooting, the men in particular shooting 13, 14, 15, 16 under par per round, do you think that hurts the game being that far under par round after round after round?
Go ahead, Derrick.
I don't think it. I don't think it hurts the game. I think it goes back to the talent of the players. To be quite honest with you, I mean, we all have the right or privilege to do the same thing and shoot the same scores they do. It's just a matter of how much time and practice we put into it.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest with you.
Yeah, that's actually been a hot topic for the past year or two. I think Brody Smith is one that brought it up, and he thinks
that's actually where I heard about it. To be honest.
Okay, I think he's basically wants to make things tougher, and I remember him saying one way to do it maybe be like to increase the distance of circle 1 so that you can't jump putt like in circle 2, where you have to do standstill. He talked about He might have talked about distance, but they honestly have some holes that are huge that they can still get to. But
Yeah, but one of the things I'm going to talk about may address that.
yeah, okay. You want to go ahead, or you want me?
It was one of the things I think, and he kind of mentioned this on there as well, but I'm going to tweak it a little bit. Where he was talking about the only time you can do the run up and throw is on the tee box,
Right.
and the rest of the time it has to be flat throws where they can't run. And I think that would make it harder for them to reach that 600. I mean that 1,000-foot hole, 1,200-foot hole. That I know Paul McBeth, he was reaching a 1,200-foot hole in 2 shots.
Right.
I'm like, that to me is insane.
Kind of like in golf, where you don't like re-tee in the fairway, right?
Right.
And I kind of had that same thought earlier. You know, if they made it flat-footed where you had to be stationary, you know, then you just have the twist of the torso and the arm strength after that. You don't have the momentum of the running. That, to me, that would shorten their distance. It would make it tougher on them.
Yeah, they'd only throw like 400, 450 as amateurs.
Exactly.
Right.
But again, you would think that the third shot on a 1,200-foot hole is now might be 150, 200 feet.
Right.
And you're not in, again, since you can't jump, we're not going to let jump putts in. So now they got to throw again. But one of the things I thought about is I don't really mind them doing that. But I think the penalty, like for OB, the places where they just have flags and just have like this is fairway, this is OB. I think when it goes that OB, because when we play golf, if your ball is out of the fairway, it's in rough. It's harder. It is harder. If you're in the fairway, you got short grass, much easier. I think in the rough, off the fairway, that's the time that they should not be able to do the run up. I think if they make it in the fairway, they get a bonus for being able to run up and throw the next shot. If they're off the fairway, they have to throw flat foot.
Okay. Yeah. I guess there's a number of possibilities. Another one would be to change the OB ruling to stroke and distance, where if you throw OB, you have to rethrow from where you, instead of taking it like where it went out of bounds, you'd actually have to rethrow. That's another one Brody Smith brings up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things, but the only good thing I can think of that would, argue for keeping it the way it is would be stories that it makes. When Paul McBeth, he scored, I think, 2 18-under rounds career, and that just brings a story to a person's career, or whatever. But that's the only reason I could think of that would be beneficial to keeping it the way it is, because I think it maybe it's hard to see it from an outside perspective. Somebody that's never heard of disc golf, if they see people scoring, or even like players in PGA, or that play golf in general, they may look at those scores and think, well, this is just a fluke of a game. Is anybody even challenged? So I don't know. But I like the stories that it makes. I like that Paul had those 18-under rounds. I like seeing the high numbers, but I could also see the argument against it, and maybe just making like par threes a little harder. Like, remember we were talking about the one at I think it was Belton, that whole one that everybody had trouble with. It's like a 500-foot par three. Like that could be like your pro level course where you have par threes that are like 500 feet, and you have to be elite distance to be able to actually birdie a hole like that. So,
well, the only issue I have with that is how many courses have that much land where you have 12, 13, 500-yard par threes, and now par fours are going to have to be 900, 1,000 feet, and par fives are going to have to be 1,400 feet, 1,500 feet.
Well, Paul's new course here is kind of an example of, I think, of what he's envisioning Pro Tour. But maybe the solution is just a mixture. Instead of every course being, the possibility of seeing 14-under rounds, let's have a mixture of just some courses that are super high scoring like that, or low scoring, and then some courses that are like New London, where it's gonna gonna break everybody.
I do not like the gimmicks, like the gimmicks of the man-made Mandos.
Yeah.
I mean, there's that one course. There's a par three, I think it's a par three, where they have the fence built, and then they have like the overhang where you have to go in this hole.
Got you.
And I'm just like, I don't like the man-made Mando. I like I can't remember which course it is. It's about a 250-foot straight down, but it's woods along both sides. You got to like hit this hole all the way down. And there's, I think, 2 or 3 Mandos where you have to get inside of these trees the whole way.
Yeah, I think
I like that.
Yeah,
I think that is great. That makes it pretty tough. You got to throw a dead straight shot for 2 feet or more. It might be a little bit more than that, I don't know. But that, to me, I like that idea better than like that one hole that's got like the mozzarella sticks up. I'm not a fan of that.
A lot of pro players agree with you there, I've heard. So,
Derrick,
what you got?
Kind of in agreement with you, to be honest with you. I don't think there's a one-word fix to the situation, to be quite honest.
Yep.
I think it's going to have to be course selective. Each course is going to have their own kind of penalty situations or limitations in which I guess so to say. I mean, you can't compare Peaksview to New London. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's apples to oranges. I think it needs to be course selective, and whoever's the director of that course or whatever the case may be, they're the ones who need to set the parameters of it.
Yeah, that's kind of a mixture thing. Yeah.
Right.
And one of the things that I really think about when I go back to golf, you look at the majors. Like the main majors, you might have a winner shooting 10 over for the tournament, or there's some they're just battling for even par.
Right.
I would like to see some way, but again, I don't know how they could do it to make it so the disc golf majors where they had to really battle to get, we'll bring it down to 20 for the 4 rounds, 20 under par for 4 rounds. If they had to really fight hard to get to there, I kind of think that would be something. But again, how could you gimmick it up? I don't know. But again, I don't want.
You mean kind of do it like the majors in golf, where you have to make a cut line before you play the final day? Is that what you're
saying? They do that now.
But I mean, as far as lowering the score to make it more, I guess tougher on them.
Yeah, I mean,
like I want to find a cut line is say 15 under or something like along those lines.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, what I'm saying is I want it harder for the players. So, like this past week, what was first place? 46 under.
I can't remember, but yeah, it was
somewhere in that ballpark. And I'm thinking, wow, you're averaging, because it was 4 rounds, so they averaged 11, almost 12 shots per round under par.
Right.
And so I'm just like, gosh, is there a way to do it? So a 4-round tournament where they would be struggling and battling hard, and at the end of the 4th day, they are mentally destroyed because of how hard the course is. Because you see some of the men and women that play in a major tournament, they are beat, not physically, but mentally beat because of how tough the courses are. Yeah. And that's what I'm looking towards, to make it like in your normal weekly stuff. If they shoot like what's his name that shot a 58, Jim Furyk, he shot a 58, but it was in some tournament somewhere. It wasn't a major tournament, so that's fine. But if someone shoots a 65 in a major tournament, wow, they're 7 under in a major tournament. And to me, I think that's a big difference. I don't know. Yeah, again, there's a possibility I'm the only one that thinks that.
Well, I mean, in the golf world, that's been a hot topic too, as far as, the clubs that they're able to use. They're talking about club restrictions and lengthening courses and so on and so on. And then they're going through the same struggle that disc golf is. The question you just brought up, is how do we make it tougher to where our cutoff line isn't 10 under? You see what I'm saying? So they're kind of struggling with the same thing, and they have yet to come up with a solution either. Their biggest complaint was that people are driving further. Their gargantuan drives of 300, 350 yards, close to 400 yards. I mean, that's long ball hitters in a stadium somewhere. I mean, you normally don't see that, but with the new equipment that's coming out and all, I mean, they're just capable of doing it.
Yeah.
Same thing.
I mean, Derrick, you remember when we were younger, if someone hit 295s, like, wow, that's a bomber right there.
Younger, if I hit 250 now, I'm happy.
Well, I mean, when we were kids, like Tiger, he come out and he was hitting over 3. John Daly.
Yeah.
I mean, he was hitting a little over 300, and everybody was like, oh my gosh, is anyone ever going to hit that far? And you got people averaging that.
Averaging 300, 350, whatever. But I mean, that's equipment. That's the evolution of the equipment that they're using. And I think disc golf is the same way. I can't imagine the first disc golf frisbee that ever came out throws the same as they do today.
No, yeah, I think the fastest they had was probably like 7 or 8 speeds, and now they're up to like 13, 14 speeds. So yeah, it's the thing. Equipment's kind of adapting, and players are getting better. A lot of players are getting better. So yeah,
but then that would beg the question. I mean, is it the issue of the course, or is it the issue of the equipment?
Yeah, the courses are going to have to increase as the equipment and the skill level just starts. I mean, it's moving pretty quick.
They're going to have to evolve together, more or less.
I mean, there's that one other thing that also adds to it, and that is player fitness.
Yeah, a lot.
I mean, you look at again, we'll talk golf. You look at the players now compared to the players back in the 90s, or you go back to the 80s. You had all these guys with beer gut there. It's just walking 18 holes is like, what are we doing? This is ridiculous.
Right.
And now you got these guys that just got ripped abs. I mean, just muscles. And then you go to disc golf. There's this one guy that was playing this past week, Ben. What's Ben's last name?
Ben Callaway.
Was it Callaway? It just chiseled.
Oh.
Yeah.
He is
the most.
I think it was him. I think it was him. He was leading out the second round.
Yeah, it's Ben Callaway. Yeah, I guess he's in shape.
I mean when he held the muscles of his arms, and I'm just like, this guy is just jacked. I mean, he's not like huge jacked. I mean, but you can just tell he's ripped, and I'm just like, wow. But most of the guys you see are very skinny, and it's because their core is so tight, because that's how they get so much torque on throwing.
Yeah, core is important.
I don't have that problem.
I don't.
Yeah. Yeah. We probably all lack in that a little bit. But I mean, I follow the PGA quite often because I just love golf. I love all aspects of golf, frisbee golf. I just enjoy it. And some of the interviews, and then I watch the Golf Channel a whole lot now, and they're always talking about someone spends more time in the gym than they do on the driving range. You're exactly right. The physical ability of the person makes a big difference too.
I mean, I think Tiger's the one that really changed that.
Yeah,
because the Tiger came on, he started hitting the weights, he was running, and he was a different specimen compared to the regular guys. And you saw it by his distance, by just the club speed that he had back in the day. Oh my goodness! So yeah.
Does that mean we need to open up a frisbee golf gym? Is that what we need to do?
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. All we're going to have is one machine that you just pull.
One cable, one cable.
That's it. If you want, you can turn around and work this way with it as well. That's it. That's all.
Right. Right. Yeah, I mean, hey, it's an option. We'll make it for home use. How's that?
You can have a couple of treadmills and ellipticals for cardio, but it's optional.
We need a swimming pool too, because Paul talked about getting like neck deep and just going through the motion in the water.
Yeah, hydrotherapy is a big thing when it comes to toning and chiseling the body.
Get a business plan together.
Yeah, that's what we need. Yeah,
They have
throwing.
they have this thing on Pro Tour called Disc Golf Strong, and they're getting
Mhm.
into the more exercises, training, physical therapy, things that's specified towards disc golf moves and stuff. They're getting that started pretty heavily now too. And there's a station at every Pro Tour event where players can just go there if they have something that's kind of tweaked or something they feel is not right. They got a guy there that works with them specifically for those certain movements that they do. So they're getting that started pretty big too. That's pretty
I
cool.
could, I could almost imagine that something even as simple as yoga would help you.
Definitely.
Just stretching and the maneuverability of the body and being able to twist yourself in many different aspects.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, I say the physical aspect of the player makes a big difference. And it could go all the way down to diet and hydration.
Mm-hmm.
How sluggish do they feel? Did they have that monster drink or did they drink it? Water. I mean,
That's right. You're out there 4 days straight in the hot summer sun.
Yeah,
You need to have that endurance for sure.
that's for sure.
All I'm thinking is our gym is starting to get a little expensive.
We'll provide a water fountain.
You got some massage chairs over here.
Yeah.
We just take Planet Fitness with us wherever we go.
Yeah. If we can make a way to make it mobile, we're in good shape then.
There we go. Let's see. That's about all I had written down for today. You guys got anything? Anything you guys want to discuss?
Probably too long to discuss what things to add and take away from the sport, right? Yeah.
We'll take the discs away and let's see how that works.
Yeah, we'll do that next time. You had mentioned that the first episode, things that would be good to add, take away. We kind of talked about it some, I guess, with making the courses harder and things like that. But yeah, I could talk all night, but I guess we better stop it at an hour.
Well, I mean, if you got anything else to talk about, I am more than happy.
Oh, well.
Come on, pick up something, man. Come on.
Well, I mean, we got all these courses around here we could talk about. We got lots of players.
That is you know what? How many different courses do we have around here?
How many different do we have? What, around Lynchburg?
Yeah, around Lynchburg. Yeah, I'll include Bedford. Maybe Amherst. Yeah, probably Amherst as well.
None in Amherst except for one private course I know of that a member of Peaks and Creek built on his property, but it's not public. Appomattox has one at Elk Creek. So Lynchburg's got Lynchburg College, Randolph College. Liberty has two. I think there's a third one at Camp Hideaway that's smaller. And then we got Peaksview Park, Sandusky, and Heritage Park. So that's 9. And then you got in Bedford, you got Manita, Montvale. You got Fallen Creek. You got Independence. You got New London. You have Bedford YMCA. You have Liberty High School. That might be it there. So that's 7 more.
There's one at the Y in Bedford. I did not know that either.
Bedford YMCA, yeah, that's a fun one.
Yeah, I didn't know that either, and I didn't know there was one in Montville as well.
Yeah, there's a wooded one in Montville. You're gonna hit lots of trees.
Where's that one at? 18
holes wooded. It's kind of behind the big gas tanks and stuff.
Okay.
We're on 460. You see them big. We're kind of. I think it's close to. Was it Yoder? What farm is that?
Oh yeah, I forget the name of that farm, but they do a big Halloween thing every year. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
L. It's a bunch of them. We're getting a lot of them around here with
it's funny because I only knew in Lynchburg about 4 of them. I didn't realize there were that many. 5. I knew 5.
Yeah, I thought Liberty. I played one of them at Liberty, the one that goes up on the mountain right here off of 460, but I didn't know about the other one.
Liberty's got Campus East, and then on Camp Hideaway they have a 18-hole course, and then I think they just put in like this really small little pitch and putt course on Camp Hideaway. It's like Foundation just did a video today, and I learned about it just today.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, but Liberty, I'm surprised They could do a whole lot better with their courses. They have the money. I don't know why they don't fix it up. The tee
Well,
pads are terrible and just not kept up very well. There's
yeah.
a trash on hole 5, Campus East, that has been overflowing with trash for the past 2 years. I've never seen it empty.
Wow.
So it's pretty pitiful for Liberty's, all the money they have. But,
Right.
yeah.
Well, I know when I played New London last week, it was a bunch of the Liberty team who was at New London playing. I think it was 7 or 8 of those guys that were playing New London.
Oh, yeah. I know Justin Rozak. He was on the Pro Tour lead card on round 2. I think was it this tournament? He's on the Liberty team, and yeah, he's been playing New London like crazy. You'll see on the UDisc
Right.
leaderboard,
Mhm.
see Justin Rose there quite a bit. But yeah, they have a
So
team.
he's at Liberty now?
Yeah, I don't know if he's graduated or not. I think he's on it now. He may have graduated, but he yeah, he's a Liberty guy, and he was on league. He made league card and was playing on coverage round 2, and then I think he dropped down to 3rd card and played with Paul Macbeth one round. But he's struggling on that round. But pretty cool.
I feel like if I was playing with Paul, I would struggle as well. I feel very confident in that fact that I would struggle.
Oh yeah.
I mean, by the way, Simon Lizotte, he's coming back. What, in 2 weeks?
I didn't hear that. What would you hear?
Well, they mentioned, because I know they said he was going to play a small tournament, I think in Portland, and then I think it's the next big tournament.
Oh, I thought you meant coming back to Lynchburg.
No,
Yeah,
on the tour.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's going to play OTB Open, which is in San Francisco, I think.
The what? Is that thing?
OTB Open.
In Stockton. OTB in Stockton, California, the 14th and 16th.
Yeah, so that's his first tournament back.
Okay, so I knew they were talking about.
Did you see his recent video? Who he played with?
Teddy Bruschi.
Teddy Bruschi. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
Did you like you know what? Let's critique Teddy's swing.
You want us to
critique it. How did Teddy Bruschi swing and throw the disc?
I thought it was pretty average for just an amateur, player. My form is by nowhere any good, but it looked like he wasn't reaching back very well. It looked like he was rounding instead of reaching back and pulling through.
He held the disc all the way back and then kind of come through with it.
Yeah, so obviously, he's just a amateur like all of us, but
yeah.
Simon was there. He was showing off and parking stuff, and Teddy didn't care. He was out there. I don't know what he was doing. I wonder what kind of film he was making. He had a film crew there just for him, and then Simon got to do something with him just for 3 holes after they were done filming. So I don't know what they're planning there. Maybe something ESPN's doing, or I don't know.
See, I thought they was doing a commercial is what I thought they were doing, but I'm not sure.
I had no idea, but
when I was watching him throw, I was like, a guy that big is very tight. He doesn't have like good like rotation where he really rotates. It's like his whole body comes with him. So I think that is what came to my mind. But he had distance, which I don't have. So there you go. I give it up to Teddy getting out there playing, and then Simon being Simon.
Yeah, it is an advantage to be a little tall and lanky in disc golf. You want to have some strengthening and stuff too, but a lot of your best players like Calvin Heinberg, Eagle McMahon, Simon Lizotte, Anthony Barella, all these guys are like rails. but they have that long reach back and slingshot motion that just bombs the disc. So it's
What's
interesting.
that one lady's? Christina Ricconi? Yeah, which I'm mispronouncing her name. I can't think of her name. But one of the things I was watching when she was on one of the Joe Mass, she like turns her back completely when she's throwing that way. I'm like, how do you even know where you're throwing? And she takes like 2 steps back and just whips it. And I'm just like, how do you even do that?
Yeah, I play with a guy now who does it the same way. He starts out completely facing the opposite direction.
I don't get it.
By the time he gets to the end of the tee box, there he's around, and it's squalling from there.
I mean, does he have good control over where it's going?
Oh yeah, he plays very well.
Wow. I mean, when I first started watching them, and when I decided I'm going to play, I really started watching, kind of analyzing how they're doing things. So I'm trying to emulate how they're doing it. But the biggest thing I see most of them do is, they don't turn completely backwards, but they turn in their head is facing to almost where their disc is, and then they come through.
Right.
Like in my whole time, I'm trying to kind of look where I'm going to throw. Because if I don't, I'm going to be off center.
Well, I have a tendency to look backwards at my disc and bring my head and arm around together. I do that several times.
I got to find this lady's name. It's driving me nuts. Yeah. Or they're not going to let me go all the way through the field. They're not on this one. But anyway, it doesn't matter. But anyway, it's cool. I give them props to be able to do that kind of stuff. And there was one tournament where the women were basically playing from the men's tees, and some of them are still parking 400-foot par threes. Like,
yeah,
I'm jealous. And I'll be honest, I like watching the women probably more than the men, even though the worst one playing there is still going to beat me. But when I see them playing, I feel like I'm closer to what they can do.
Right.
Hey, Todd's back. Did we bore you?
I don't know what happened. My internet must be bad today.
Yeah, it's been glitching over here too.
Todd, what do you like watching more, the men or the women play?
I don't think that I can pick one. I really enjoy both really well. But I mean, I've just become such a Paul McBeth fan. I'll probably focus more in on him and what he's doing. But over on the women's side, there's so much parity now. So many women are starting to come up.
Buddy Fish Tropic just showed up. Hey, Fish, what's up, buddy?
What's up, Fish?
I was telling him, I was like, I like watching the women more, even though I think the worst one on the Pro Tour is still going to absolutely destroy me. Yet I still feel like I'm closer to what they can do. So that's why I would say I prefer to watch the women play.
Got you. Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
I don't have a preference, to be quite honest with you. I'll watch any of them play. I just enjoy watching them. I mean, I don't have any particular person that I follow. I mean, I guess you could say I'm a Paul McBeth fan, and he's somewhat of a local guy that since he's moved here.
Yep.
I like what he's done for the sport. I think my personal preference is kind of the way I look at people in general, whether they're sports players or not, is what are you doing to impact the community? And it's on the right side of the things, then of course I don't mind supporting that person whether I know them or not. That's kind of the way I look at it. I mean, what are you doing to impact the sport? What are you doing to spread the sport? I mean, Paul, he's been active in building courses, and with Bedford County and different things. I mean, I can support that. I mean, I'll watch him, but I can't say that I have a preference to either watch male or female. I just enjoy watching all of it.
I mean, Paul has taken it next level. He's trying to make it global. He's got he got investors and money together to build courses in all kinds of countries, and he's starting in Mexico City. I think, is it Mexico or is it Mexico City?
No, it's in Mexico. It's called La Paz. The
Yeah.
city,
La Paz, yeah.
kind of on that little peninsula under California.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that to me is huge. But I completely forgot to mention Hannah Macbeth.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Her doing the broadcast for the commentating this past week. Really she did an amazing job.
Really good. Yeah.
So I had to throw that in there. Now back to Paul.
One thing I like about what Paul's doing for our area, I think I'm hoping that it'll open opportunities for younger people, the next generation. With what he's building here and the establishments that he's making and the legend that he's bringing with him, I hope it's an impactful on the good side of the youngsters that we have coming up to get them involved. And I think they're in the right place to get noticed, to make a move into their career if they choose to, and I think he's providing the tools that they need and the pathway. He's kind of like blazing the pathway for them, if you ask me. So I like what he's doing. I can support Paul 100%.
Yeah, one exciting thing I heard him talk about when somebody was asking him about his new course, they asked him, "So when is it going to be possible for a world championship to be in the area?" And he said, "Well, I think we need at least one more pro course to be put in. So once we get that in, like he's actually aiming to have like a world championship here in this area, which would be pretty crazy."
So that would be amazing.
Yeah,
that would be amazing.
Really cool. So that's really exciting. But it'll be maybe several years from now. But another course or two like New London, you're probably going to be looking at a world championship being here with all kinds of people coming in. So
and it might be the fact that I just don't know about it, but one thing I would like to see is somewhere where it's kind of like golf. I'd like to see a driving range to where it's marked off and you can just go out there and throw. You're not playing holes. You're just going to to better yourself and tone in your drive more or less. If your swing.
He's talked about that with the property he bought here in Bedford. He built a course on his private property, and he wants to eventually have like a pro shop there with a field where people can try out discs, and he's got all kinds of plans. But it's encouraging too, because I know with all his investment in this area, it seems like he's here to stay, which is
right.
And but yeah, he's talked about all that stuff. I've heard off and on throughout Foundation's little podcasts and stuff. So he's got a lot of ideas and plans, and he's working, man. He's building the sport for sure.
And two other things that's really big local is that Foundation Disc Golf. Their YouTube presence is really big.
Mm-hmm.
And then I didn't even realize this until a few days ago. I mean, Todd, you brought this to my attention. The was it Nick and Matt show?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize, but are they both local, or is it just Nick?
Nick was in Massachusetts, and he just moved down here because he has a girlfriend that lives here, and he's really good friends with Paul and Hannah.
Yeah,
he moved down here, and but Nick, Matt Graham, he's up there near Maple Hills with Simon and all them. Simon lives in Massachusetts too.
Because when they were doing the podcast with Paul not too long ago, and in the middle of the thing, he said, "Yeah, well, Paul is right over there. He's 6 feet away. We're observing social distancing." And I was like, whoa. Y'all are actually, I was like, Nick is local? I didn't even realize that. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. He's the Nick and Matt show is underneath Foundation's company. So.
They are the foundation of Foundation, because that's the
yeah, I guess
that's the building plan of the whole thing.
Sure.
And I still got to find that place. So there you go.
Yeah.
I got to find out where a Foundation is. All right. Anything else?
I don't guess so. I better get get to my video call with my fiance here quick.
Oh yeah, that's important.
Killing me, Smalls.
I'm hoping she picks up disc golf. I really hope she likes it.
I've been married 21 years, and my wife's gone with me one time. Hopefully, it'll work out for you.
She'll try it. So
there you go. It's that you got your take it bag ready for it. Just tell her that.
I got it.
All right, guys, we're gonna check out now. You guys got anything you want to promote? Anything? Or?
You were breaking up, Daryl. What's that?
Oh, I said we're about to leave. You guys got anything you want to promote, like any Instagrams or anything like that, or no?
Go ahead, Derrick.
No, I'm good. Y'all go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if you wanted to keep up with any kind of disc golf in my life, it's Twitter. I'm like constantly on there talking, not like talking, but like retweeting or liking or adding comments here and there. But other than that, you can catch me on the Simply Incredible podcast.
Exactly.
Daryl, aka
that's ladies and gentlemen, that's called a plug.
Well, I really enjoyed it. This is the first time I've ever did anything like this. I mean, I think I've done one Zoom call in my life, and this is the very first podcast I've ever been on. I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed talking to you guys, and hopefully we can do it again.
Hopefully with Todd, I would love to do it every week. Talk about how we're playing, talk about where we're playing, talking about if we get more discs, talk about all things with the sport. So, because gosh, it's so much fun. It's so much fun.
Right.
Let's see. What do I got? You guys can always follow me on Instagram. I am on Twitter, but I don't do Twitter very much. But tomorrow night, I have one of my friends. He sent me a box of a huge box of cards. I don't know if they're baseball, football, hockey, or what. Tomorrow, and Mr. Gretzky 9966 will be on here because he sent me this awesome package. I'm kind of nervous because he was like, there's some stuff in there that will really surprise you. And I'm like, yeah. So I'm pretty excited that tomorrow night. But other than that, if Todd wants to, again, I would love to make this a weekly show, a definite weekly show. So Derrick, if you want to come back, man, you're welcome, because I know me and you will definitely be out on the course now that we know each other's playing.
Yeah.
And get Todd there. We can have a threesome, a mini tournament.
Well, like I said, I'm off all next week, so we can play whenever y'all want to play.
Sounds like Derrick's pretty good, so I'm a little intimidated.
I'm not pretty good, but I mean, I enjoy it. Let's put it that way.
Hey, I will say this: I'm pretty. That's it.
We'll leave it at that.
But yeah. All right, guys, that's all we got. And you guys have an incredible day.
All right.